Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Volcano AC, and in this episode I will create a beat with the virtual drums included in Studio One 6 artist version, Impact XD. This as part of the tutorial on how to record in Studio One. The reason that I want to create a beat before I actually record the guitar or a vocal is because I like hearing the drum beat while I'm recording, and it helps me get in the groove of the song. The metronome will help me to stay on beat, however, it is a bit dry for me, whereas the drums bring me that extra sauce that helps me stay focused in the chord progression and melodies that I record. I'm going for a simple drum beat, and I'll show you a couple of ways to get it done. This as part of a Studio One on how to record tutorial. In a previous episode, I shared the song session page in Studio One to have a smooth recording experience and to use the time efficiently. Link to that video in the description below. Also, in another episode, I went over Studio One Artist version start page and showed how to set up your device session block size, the sample rate, and the beat depth. Link to that video also in the description below. If you're looking into how to install a second license of Studio One in a second device, also check the link in the description below. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, and we are here in Studio One, exactly where we left in our last episode. We don't need to see our markers right now, so let's go back to the hamburger, unclick that, and we really don't need our voice recording from last week, so just delete right there. And now we're here to create our drum loop. So let's go down here to the browse section. You'll see you can choose different areas. So let's click the instruments area and let's scroll down to where we find our Presonus. And here it is, and this is the Impact XD. So I click on top and drag it right there, and it loads it right away. I'm gonna on arm right there, and right now there's nothing loaded. We need to load a sound, so let's go ahead and just load something. Let's load that one over there, and let's hear it. Okay, so you can change just right here, for example, if you like something different. All right. Alright, I'm just clicking with my mouse. So we're gonna find something interesting. Alright, so that's just some example of different sounds that we have in Impact XD. So there it goes. Okay, let's start with that one just for now. And well, there's different ways we can start recording, but before we actually start doing that, let me close it up and let's click in the browse section again. If you want to recall here the instrument, just click on top and there it is, okay? So now there's gonna be different ways to create your drum loop. So the one that I use the most is by going to an event section over there, and then I go to the instruments part, and from here I go to insert pattern. All right, so I inserted a pattern. It is blank. And something that I would like to do is change my time base from seconds going back to bars, and I'll keep it at 116, so that's great. So basically, if I turn on the loop here that we actually learned how to use in the previous episode as well. I can just move my loop like that, and you can see we have, this will be bar number 1, bar number 2, bar number 3, bar number 4. Okay, so I'm gonna drag it all the way there. Okay, so now that I have like that, I can just double click on it and look at that. It comes up here with the different instruments on my Impact XT, and we can just try to start a pattern. For example, we can start something simple right there just by clicking, and then the snare right there, 2 kicks, 1 snare. How about that? Then we can play, and then look, it's at 90 tempo. Let's do 110. And if we want to change our instrument sound, we do that. That's the so-called dope kit. That sounds fine, but there's one that I like a bit more, which is the Havana Chill. So I gotta go to this one over here. All right, how about this one? And this is not a tutorial on Impact XT, so I'm not gonna get into all the different details over here. We just want to create a quick and dirty loop. So this is a way on how to do it, of course, and then you can use different sounds over here and scroll down to see what else you can find. Okay, so this chilled metal, for example, it almost sounds like a hi-hat. And to delete, just click on top, or if, for example, you would like to have everything filled out, then you click this one over here, and then it goes. All right, or you can just use with 1 skip. Now if you want to move it 1 placement, that doesn't sound good, so I'll just do Control C. All right, so if you want to delete all of them, you click on that particular row and click here, and it's gone. So this is one way to do it. Now let me close the edit, and I'm gonna start here in the bar number 5. Remember, this is bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 4. We start in the bar 5, and what we can do in this one is also record over here. And now let me show you how to actually record, and you can actually use your mouse. Of course, it's gonna be a little bit harder, or so that's another way, or you can also record with your MIDI keyboard. But in my particular case, I have the Atom from Presonus, so let me show you right now how that goes. All right, this is the 4 bars we're gonna be recording. We have everything armed, ready to record. We have the preset sounds that we want, Havana Chill, and I need to turn on the metronome over here, and I want a pre-count as well. So there you go, and you will see how the pre-count starts counting over here. Of course, it's not going to be as tight into the grid as with my pattern, but just to show you, this is another way how to record your drums. Let's go. All right, and that was a quick and dirty recording with the Atom. So let me go back here, and here it goes. So you see, it is actually supposedly the same kick and snare. However, it doesn't look exactly the same because when we double click, look at this, you can see where I actually landed the kick and snare, whereas here it's exactly right on the grid. So that's why I always go through the patterns. However, if you're a DJ and you're into playing your own drums, that's totally fine. Finger drumming, that's fantastic. Now, of course, you can go ahead and move, for example, I think this one was supposed to be there. Okay, so I can move them around anyways to get into the groove that I wanted. More or less like that, or you can just do Control A and then Q, and that quantizes everything to the grid. Well, it's not perfectly just because I really did a poor job on hitting this thing, but anyways, that's a way if you want to complicate your life or you're really good at finger drumming, that's how you do it. Just delete that. All right, now moving on, because we're not here on how to finger drum. We're here to create a pattern that can be useful. So we have this over here. However, I'm not a huge fan of this particular pattern over here. So let me just go ahead and try to do something a little bit more interesting. And you see we have 16 steps, and we can change that if we want to over here. And our resolution is 116, so we're going to leave it there as well. But basically, if we want to work on each individual step, I will say let's start from scratch again, delete and delete as well. Let's start with a kick right at the very beginning, and then right before we do a snare. So we do a 4 kick and a 5 snare right there. And then we go to number 7 just to make it a little bit more interesting. And then we go to 11 kicks, so 7 and 11 are kicks. And let's go to something like around 13. And after that, let's do something interesting like that. All right, now let's go ahead and play that. All right, that's not too bad. It's a little bit more interesting. Now let's add a little bit of this clad metal, and we're gonna do that. How about if we do like this? Let's just feel it like that. Go to the beginning. Not too bad. Imagine if I will have to finger drum all that. That's where I start running out of fingers or even out of hands, to be honest with you. So what we can do now is let's look for some perks. There's some right here. How about this one? But we're not gonna do it every other step. Let's just do this one over here, and there we go. Nice. And there's different things we can do. We're not gonna get into all the details right now, but you can change the velocities right here. When you go to, some people call it the mountain. Let me click that out again. So you go to the mountain right there. You can change the velocities just so that it's not exactly the same. If you want to repeat anything, let's do velocity first. Okay, let me Control C and bring them all back to 60 just for this demo. If you want to repeat anything, then you can go ahead and just add the repetition here like that. For example, if I want to do it twice. All right, so, but we don't want that, so Control Z again. And you can have certain delay, and if you want to change the probabilities, 100% means it's always going to be played, but you can change that as well to 50% chance that it sounds or that it doesn't. So but we're gonna keep it all like that just for this video. So we have our 4 bars, but I would like to make it a little bit longer so that I can have this part 1 to 13, so to speak, more frequent. So, and leave the 15 to 16 just at the very end. So I can do that by just going to the steps, and instead of only 16 steps that we have, we're gonna do 32 steps like that. And what I would do here is then just delete those 2 from there, and I'll just keep this one on the 13, but then the 17, pay attention to this, it's going to be our number 1. So 1 and 17 should be the same, so that's a kick. And then the 20th should be number 4, so that's another kick. And 21 turns into a 5, so that's a snare. And then we go like that. For example, the 23, it's the 11, and then we go to 27 and 29 for the actual snare. So I think we have 4 snares, and remember, steps 1 to 16 is bar number 1, so it will be here from 1 to 2, and 17 to 32 is actually 2 to 3. So we got it there, but this I just wanted to show you how to extend basically this one additional 16 steps. So now we have 32, but I actually want the 4 bars that I can edit. That way it's not that repetitive. So what I'm gonna do is just click here and look at that. I'm gonna get rid of that part of the mountain down there, and look, it went all the way to the number 64. And then if 17 was 1 and 20 was 4, then 33 is 17. Look at that. That is the beauty of this pattern and sequencing in StudioOne. You just go ahead and put your kick over here, and then the same thing, 36 is 20 and 37 is the snare. So this one, which used to be 21, or if we go one back, it's number 5, and that's exactly how we go. If this one was 37, so the kick goes in the 39th and then in the 43, and then we have a snare in the 45. And then we have another one in the 49. That is a kick. And after the kick in the 49, we also have one at the 52 and also one in the 53 right there. And once we have that, we go to the 55 and the 57 and the 59th. Okay, so basically we have the same. If we go nice. All right, so we were able to listen to the perks at the very beginning. So let's bring them all on just like that. But at the end, I'm gonna get rid of these perks from our last bar over there, just because, or half bar, just because, no, that's full bar. Just because that way it gives a little bit of change right as I'm getting to the end. Nice. Okay, so I left the end blank. I didn't want to repeat the 4th bar like the other 3. So 1, 2, 3 should be the same, but the 4th is where I add a little bit of spice, and we're gonna do something just a little bit interesting, nothing too complex. There we go. Nice. Nice. Actually, it's sounding really, really good. Actually, I can also variate a little bit this one over here. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so well, it's nothing too crazy. You can explore other sounds. This one sounded pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, okay, that sounds fine for what we need. So basically, if we're not happy with this particular sound, we can go ahead and change it and see how the other sounds perform. Ooh, no. Interesting. Let me go back to the Havana since we built our drum loop on that. There we go. And the final thing that I want to say here, since we have been able to build the pattern and I don't want to go for too long in this video, is let's go and click on the eye of inspection, and this is the variation one. So we can call that the intro drum. Okay, man, what's happening? And then you can just click on top and copy paste, and now we have the variation of that one. But on this one we call the main beat. It's also 64 steps and 1/16, and then we go to this one, to the main beat, and we can modify it, and it's going to be a little bit different than the intro drum. However, it's going to be based on that one. Maybe it's a bad idea, but I just want to show you what's the whole purpose of this. Okay, so that is the main beat, but then if you go here, it disappears because it's not there anymore. Okay, you go back here, there it is, and it's all based on the original one that you did. If you don't want it, delete it right there. Okay, so we're back to our intro drum, and this is our final version, and we're gonna be absolutely ready to start recording our guitar in our next video. All right, and that is all for this episode. If you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button, and for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.